Hi everyone, I hope you're well. This is CoinsKid. Just going to dive into Bitcoin, big up the CoinsKid crew. So going forward, I've always said to you, buy and go to the beach, sell and go to the beach and things like that, and optimal entry points and stuff like that. But I've never really focused on the optimal entry point for you, okay? I've always just focused on the big signal to say you're in a bull market. And one of those signals is, for me, looking at historical data here, whenever the weekly does this, you're in a bull market and you've never not been, okay? And it's when the yellow line crosses the red line, you get confirmation right there. The 20 crossing the 55 is a buy and go to the beach signal from CoinsKid, okay? I've always looked at that and always said that to you. But one thing I've never done here in the history of this channel is find, the absolute rock solid ultimate buy and go to the beach signal for you. And by doing this channel, for over a year now, doing updates, and I'm learning myself as we go. Everyone's learning. Those people that tell you that they think they know it all are absolute talking at the bumhole, because everyone's always learning in this space, okay? The market's so volatile and things get shaking in and out, and it's the way it is. Crypto is so volatile. My grandfather always says to me, if it was that easy, everyone would be doing it, and you've got to think like that. If it was that easy to make money on the upside or on the downside, everyone would be doing it, okay? So it doesn't mean that it's absolutely conclusive, that always think a contrarian view of things, but for me, I just adhere to data. And what I've done by making this channel here is been learning the whole way through with you as a community as well. So anything I do find, whether it's nuggets of news or data or indicators or anything like that that are pretty cool or can help you, I always show you, okay? And I've always included other people's work as well. Something not a lot of YouTubers do is include other people's work and credit them, and I've always done that, okay? I've always dragged other people in and says, check this guy out, check her out and things like that, because I want us all to evolve and learn as much as we can, and the more we know, the more we can help each other. And that's what I'm trying to do on a daily basis, not spiel or bullshit or hopium or anything like that. It's data, and right now, potentially going forward, we have nailed the ultimate buy and go to the beach signal here from CoinsKid. So historical data is telling us that this 10 and 20 cross on the monthly time frame is effectively the ultimate buy and go to the beach signal from CoinsKid, because it's always confirmed the month prior was the low. Okay, do you understand? So we've got that low just there, boom. We've got that low just there, boom. Okay, and right now we've printed exactly the same signal. We have twice, in the history of Bitcoin, and yet people are ignoring it, expecting lower prices when the data is slamming it in your face, telling you that you printed a low and you're confirming it with this death cross. Do you understand? So again, no guarantees, and obviously it could be completely invalidated. It's all all it is data. So everything I find I always show you, okay? So I wish I knew about this signal going forward down here, because I could have said to you, okay, we're rolling, we're coming down, and wait for this signal before you buy back in, but you can't, because it's all a learning process. One thing here I did say to you is when you lose the 20 down here, start to close below that on the monthly time frame, you do head on down to the 55, okay? And we have done that. Now historically we've always bounced or consolidated on this 55 as support, but right now we have actually closed below the 55 last month, so it's really negative, and I could see why people can be even more bearish when you're losing key levels of support and structure. So for me, going forward, if Bitcoin does not confirm this month's death cross, prior last month's low, then it's in trouble, isn't it? And it doesn't take a blind man or a rocket scientist to see that it could actually be in deep trouble here, okay? So do pay attention to this going forward, because if this death cross here negates this low here, you could say, okay, well, you're constantly losing the 55. And I've always said to you that if you start to lose that on the monthly time frame, that's really, really negative. So one thing we need to see this month especially, and leading on to the next few months, is Bitcoin hold this low, get its ass back above that 55 and start to take it out, okay? And start to accumulate on this range and start to come back up, validating this death cross as the low, okay? And equally breaking out of that Williams percent range down here, this trend line, because historically whenever Bitcoin's done that as well, the month prior was the low right there, okay? There's lots of other indicators in the charts, I won't go through it with today, but there's several indicators that are showing us that specific timeline, that week, was the low, okay? And right now there's a lot of sort of arguing and confusion as to whether or not it is the low. So it does give it a chance that it is the low, and we are reacting bullishly off that low as well. So if we take a look at the daily time frame here for Bitcoin, you can see there's a lot of confluence here that this is a key level of support just there. You lost it and you've turned it into resistance. So right now you are printing a beautiful reversal pattern, in my opinion, okay? I'm not no absolute specialist in pattern trading, but right now you're sort of coiling up in a higher low, you run into resistance. So this is a key level resistance that I do think once you break it, you could confirm with absolute certainty that your low's in, basically. At some point you will retrace quite deeply to this, but if you can break this resistance, then for me you're in a technical target for Bitcoin. You can see you're toying with resistance, and like I've said to you in previous updates, you're going to reject at this resistance, and if you do, you start to roll back. People are going to get really fearful and poo themselves, thinking you're in a big bear market and you're going to do something like this and roll, and you're going to get this continuation. But like I've always said to you, bulls make money, bears make money, and pigs get slaughtered. And one way we can identify that is overextension from the EMAs on the weekly time frame. It's pure greed. When you're going up, it's pure greed. When you're coming down, it's pure greed. Now, it doesn't mean you can't continue, obviously. And if you do start to sweep this low, then it's negating all the lows, and Bitcoin really is in trouble because you're falling and cascading through key levels of support as well. And you're invalidating all signals going forward. So for me, you are really overextended from the weekly. We've not backtested that weekly since April. So for me, the most healthy thing for Bitcoin to do here, even if it is in a big whopping bear market like this and it's just going to come down like this forever, is break out here and come back into these EMAs to retest as resistance, confirming your downtrend and your bear market. And at that point you start to come down the loser low. So one thing you've not done here is retrace into these EMAs. You've not even retested this 10 EMA, which is a blue line. So for me, I've always said to you, if you're looking for the confirmation statement, obviously, those that pick bottoms get smelly fingers, but if you're looking for the absolute confirmation statement that Bitcoin is in a bull market again, is one thing, and it is a bit late to the party, and it's when the yellow line crosses the red line. Historically, whenever Bitcoin does that, that's been a major signal to a massive impulsive move. Okay, look, we got it just there as well, and look at the impulsive move that comes after it. So if you're looking for Bitcoin to break bullish, wait for the cross, wait for the beautiful buy and go to the beach on the 20 and the 55. But like I said to you, it is a bit late to the party, but it is a confirmation statement of a bull market. Equally, in the 5-day time frame here, whenever Bitcoin is capitulated through the 5-day Gaussian channel, you've had to wait for one signal, and it really is that simple. It's breaking and closing back above the median line of the 5-day Gaussian. So like I said to you, this is constantly falling. So the opportunity is getting better. Do you understand? So whenever you start to see Bitcoin break up, close back above the median line of the 5-day Gaussian, boom, you're in a bull market, my friend. And it's confirmation of that without actually trying to catch a falling knife or actually time the bottom or find the low, basically, for Bitcoin. So, looking back on the daily time frame here, you can see we're running into the resistance of this trend line, which is good because we're conforming to it. I wouldn't necessarily like to see us break through it at this point. Now, we are holding these EMAs, okay? So we're coiling up here for something. Now, I've always said to you, compression leads to expansion. So right now, if Bitcoin does not fall and bounce off this trend line, what you're going to do is hold these EMAs coming up, because these are constantly coming up with a price, and you're going to start to create some kind of potential ascending triangle or bull flag or bull pennant just there on the lower time frames. And at that point, you're going to run into the resistance and you're going to pop, basically, and you're going to break out and you're going to meet that target. And you could say, okay, well, this is an impulsive wave 1, you've got a corrective wave 2, and then you've got a monster 3, and they're just larger macro waves on the larger time frames right there. So that's basically Bitcoin. Now, if it was to roll, okay, and full transparency, if it was to roll, I do think that if you did start to come down and lose this trend line, okay, and especially this low, that could be really negative for Bitcoin, and it would indicate that we are losing this low and we have got further to fall, okay. And previous history is telling us that it's in trouble, basically, and like I said to you, anyone can say it's going to go to this price, that price, or wherever, but it would look as though it's in deep trouble, Bitcoin, going forward, okay. But one thing the DXY is, okay, and I will cover the DXY is inversely correlated to Bitcoin, and in my opinion, the DXY is running into key resistance, historical yearly resistance, which I need to show you, and it's the perfect place for the DXY to roll for Bitcoin to go on that parabolic run, basically, of this last impulsive move of this bull market for Bitcoin. But anyway, that's an update on Bitcoin. Hope you enjoyed that update. Stay healthy, stay strong, stay tuned. And what we're looking for is a close above this key level resistance to confirm the impulsive break to the upside, okay? Hope you enjoyed that little update. I can't get more sort of thorough than I do in these videos and tell you, like, there's no bias, it's data, okay? And, it is what it is, Take care, everyone. Back to another update on Bitcoin. Stay healthy, stay strong, stay tuned. Bye.